Another day of the EHF Euro in the books, and finally, no one is titanium anymore. No one is untouchable. Sweden lost their first game today, Martin.
Yeah, this was an outstanding performance from Iceland, and overall, this result, winning with 8 goals against one of the hosts, Sweden, it opens up the group, and now we have two very interesting main round groups where a lot of teams can make it to the semifinal, and there's a lot to talk about and also see in the upcoming matches. By these Euros, because expect the unexpected. A lot of things is also going to happen in the last games.
The wild constellations and the other matches of the day will be analyzed by us in today's episode. Have fun with it.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again.
Yes, and Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. To come up with something here. What a game! The keeper. What a comeback!
It's time to talk handball again, everybody. We are halfway through the main round, and as I said to you, Martin, already before we recorded the podcast, January feels like it's flying, man.
Yeah, you did so. I actually somehow I agree. I would say in the beginning there was some cold days, but here with the handball, it's just day by day going on, and it's the same rhythm that you and me are having. You know, watching 3 games. It's easier to follow all
Poor us.
Yeah, pure us to watch handball all the time. The time is flying by when you're in a good company. A clever man once said, and I can only back up that.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. And where we are in good company, most definitely is the left back position at this tournament. That's why we want to get back to our segment here, Martin. This one's the first one that's actually just on you. Are you ready to find the
So
best?
you're not helping me out. Sorry for interrupting. You're not helping me out here while Andrea actually said she would join us, but she had more important plans. I'm not gonna go into further details, but yeah.
That were things happening. We just have to accept that the way it is. Yesterday, she promised you and me off record that she would be here more often now. But well, I am gonna give you the left backs of the tournament, and you can you can always choose in between two players. No needing to go back and forth now. Just one word as answer, and I am gonna start with you by asking Augustin Casado or Zvonimir Cerna.
Casado.
All right, then Spanish internal duel, Augustin Casado or Jan Guri?
I have to, yeah, Casado.
Augustin Casado or Janos Marason?
Smarterson is more playmaker, so I'm gonna continue with Casado.
Yeah, it's always a little difficult to distinguish between these two positions. But all right, Augustin Casado or Erik Johansson?
There I'm gonna go for Erik Johansson.
Erik Johansson or Julian Köster?
Erik Johansson.
Erik Johansson or Thibaut Brier?
I'm gonna go with Brier.
Then Thibaut Brier or Lasse Andersson?
I'm gonna stick with Brier.
Thibaut Brier or Nikola Roganovic?
Brier.
Thibaut Brier or Elohim Prandi?
It's Prandi.
All right, then Elohim Prandi gets actually one final one because last time you complained so much about it. Elohim Prandi or
Simon Pytlik.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, Simon Pytlik joins our The Spin. Well, let's call it Fantasy 7. We put up our Fantasy 7 throughout the tournament. No players made it here from Slovenia and Hungary, but they played the first match of the day. Slovenia beat Hungary with 35-32, and eventually that was a very, very important match for the group standings, right?
Yeah, especially with the matches that we're also going to speak about later today. This group opened up, and Slovenia is for me an outsider. And I have to be very honest also, we spoke about them before the tournament with all the injuries that they have. These players, they would go directly into the team and strengthen it. And besides that, they're still impressing me the way that they're playing. But it seems like, that when they don't have such much depth in the squad, it seems like people know their roles, they know the flow, they know what it takes, they know what to do. and they just keep delivering. I mean, 4 points in this group, and they have a chance to make it to the semifinal. If anybody said hot take Slovenia going to the semifinal, I would also have laughed a little bit. So overall today, the big star for me is the Barcelona versatile left-handed Blas Jans with, I think it was 10 goals, 5 assists or something like that. He was leading the team today and showing his experience also.
Well, I mean, it follows like a guideline through this podcast. Last time we've been talking about Blas Jans, that it wasn't his game, and today he stepped up, performing very well on the fast breaks, and performing very well in breaking through and creating space on the right-hand side as well.
Yeah, you're right. It's actually some kind of a curse. Whenever we point out somebody's not playing that well, they just show us that we are wrong. But
man, Yuri Knorr, it's not his tournament yet. He always seems so angry whenever he can't make it. I really expect more from Knorr.
Gitzel needs to step up. Gitzel needs to step up. And
no, he's actually having quite a good tournament so far.
It's coming a tactical for us, We want to say a little bit negative things for them to perform the day after.
That one, looking forward to tonight already, where Germany and Denmark will face off, but that is going to get a small little segment at the end of the podcast here. We'll stay with Slovenia and Hungary for a second, because Blas Jans in the first half, he had the backpack on and put whole of Slovenia in there. In the second half, it went a little better for Slovenia. So the team started flowing a little bit, because at first I felt like Slovenia was focusing too much on the center, and they couldn't break through there with Ligetvari and Sipos. But if you try to go in 1-versus-1 against them, you're going to feel it tomorrow.
For sure, you're right. Like even Sipos and Ligetvari as well, playing in Melsung and Veszprem. They are top defenders, and they know how to make the life tough for the offensive players. But today they were also facing, some of the faster ones. Domen Marguc, I feel like sometimes whenever he wanted to shoot, he went into the middle and shot above these tall players or taller than him. And he struggled a little bit, because he's bringing a lot of speed and has been performing very well for Slovenia. But Sipos even also got some playing time in offense, because quickly Hungary went over to 7-versus-6, and a player I also wanted to point out is Bengt Imre. He didn't either have. I think he scored 1 or 2 goals in the last game they drew against Switzerland, and today he was 8 from 8. And I know there are some from penalties, but overall he did good. I don't know if I'm saying too much here. You need to interrupt, Bengt, whenever there's topics we need to speak about. But for me, I was very excited to see Fazekas from Hungary, the playmaker from this tournament, because I felt like no Lekaj, and he could really get the chance to shine. But sometimes he makes too many mistakes for me, struggling a little bit to take, this pressure maybe on his shoulder to carry the team.
Hungary really can't afford an attack without Gergő Fazekas here. So you can really see it that I think it was after 20 minutes he got the first time off the court, and immediately the Hungarian offense and attack slowed down a little bit. But yeah, as you said it, Bengt Imre, lately not that much impact, but today he stepped up, and that's a perfect transition over to our next game, because Gisli Kristjansson, 0 to non-impact against Croatia, where they lost it, and today against Sweden in their 8-goal victory against Sweden, he actually managed at least to score 3, but being a crucial part for the Icelandic offense.
Yeah, I agree. If you just isolated look at the goals, 3 on 5, you would say, no, he didn't have his best game. But today, the Swedish, for me, Sweden has one of the best defenses, and I was actually expecting Sweden to come out and really try to make it tough for these fast players from Iceland. But Gisli, he was playing well today, as you said. He was creating space for his teammates and crossing the balls and just doing actually what he wanted to in terms of making a good chance for his team. And it was an interesting duel today. Gisli versus Bergendahl teammates, Albin Lagergren, and then also Felix Klar versus Omar Ingi. It was these kind of Magdeburg duels today.
Yeah,
You
it was
saw.
Magdeburg against Magdeburg today, so
Yeah, true.
that's for sure. But there's actually one more duel that I want to look at, and it's Icelandic internal, because on the right back position, it seems like there's
Yeah.
about to be a luxury problem for them. Viggo Kristjansson, 11 from 11 today, insane performance, and he kept Omar Ingi Magnusson off the court quite a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I even wrote it down myself here that he was keeping Omar out of the field, and I think it started with that Omar missed a penalty, and then Vico he went in. He can also shoot penalties, and we see it from his club also that he's doing it. But to him in and go in this kind of game. Score 11 on 11, not missing one shot. And I know some of them, maybe half of it is on penalties, but you still got to score on the penalties. And as I said in yesterday's episode, even today, I believe we had 10 penalties in the first half of Iceland versus Sweden. That's a lot. And I believe 3 of them were missed. So it's not just scoring goals on penalties. It shows that you need to actually put it in. And he did today. What a performance. And for them to have a player like that to just count on whenever Omar Ingi is not hitting it the way they want to because he's crucial, then yeah, that's...
Offensively, they could just rely on Viggo Kristjansson, and defensively, yeah, well, let the guys shoot. We got Hallgrímsson in there, open shots that he got in goal, and well, we want to hear what he has to say to his performance and how's it looking in the group.
I still owe them some saves. I I did 4 or 5 mistakes today that I should have saved, and so they were playing amazing defense, and I still owe them a few saves, but. Yeah, I had some more saves and some good saves today, important moments maybe, and yeah, so I'm happy with that, but we have to continue.
The group became more interesting now, so the next game?
Yeah, just another final, basically. We earned ourselves another final. This game today was our final, and now the next game is a final. So yeah, we just have finals until the tournament ends, basically. So. Yeah, if we get this momentum going in each game and this craziness, we have a chance.
So coming out of that game with 12 from 38 saves at 31.5%, and he still says he owes his team some saves. So he's just saving them up for the next game?
Probably, because they're gonna need it again, and I feel like sometimes with Victor, the top level he showed today, and he's, representing Barcelona. But sometimes I also feel like, those matches to combine them with good, what is the English word for it here that I'm actually struggling after, to perform a good game again after a good performance. That sometimes I feel like he struggles a little bit with, but today he was outstanding. And there was also a ball that he reached after it went past him and got it just before it went over the line.
That shot, I think it was by Erik Johansson. So he went on a fast break, tried a spin move around him, and I don't know if it would have tied the game or if that would have got them to -1 again. It most definitely was during a time where Sweden was just about to turn the game around. After the break, they equalized 5 goals from the break within the first 10 minutes. But that's exactly the feeling that I had today. Whenever Sweden is able to create some momentum, they weren't able to convert it. And there were moments of momentum for Sweden.
For sure. And the thing that you speak about there, when I was watching it, I feel like, okay, Sweden is coming now. Do Iceland have the energy and power left for the last, I don't know, was it 20 minutes left around that time or something like that? Because it was -1 or something. But then they bounced back and took a lead again with around 4 goals or something like that. And that actually lasted throughout the game. Or they made it even higher, for Iceland to win against Sweden with 8 goals and only conceding 27. And I have to say today, he's probably going to perform outstanding next time now. Felix Klar, they controlled him completely today. I think he's 1 from 4, and we used to also see him going 1 versus 1 and always has his arm free. But today he was struggling a lot. They were biting his knees. Vidarsson and Gislason in the defense. So what a performance from Iceland! And I just need to say the last goal they scored today, that just shows that there was one of those days where I think it was Thrastason throwing behind his back to the left back, and then they scored. And it's just one of those days. They could probably have shot from the middle and still scored, like Skipper Gitto.
But that was actually a super important goal there as well, because if we look at the standings in the group, Sweden beat Croatia with 8 goals, and now Sweden lost to Iceland with 8 goals. And as we know from Group 1 already, or from some preliminary round groups, those direct encounters, they can become very interesting, and it gave us even a little more headache now, now that they equalized the goals there of Sweden as well. But we'll see how that one will end up. But talking about the last goal, there's one last scene I want to talk with you about in that game. The last 10 seconds, what happened there? So everybody knew that it was about the goal difference, but then 4 attacks, one shooting from here, fast break here, one shooting in the arms of the goalkeeper, another throw there, 4 missed attacks in the last 15 seconds.
It was like watching tennis at that time, your head just going from one side to the other because 30
Time
seconds
for
left.
Australian Open.
Exactly, because when there's only 30 seconds left, and as you said with the goal score, you would expect one attack. Maybe the last few seconds they could be shot from wider distance, but they had 4 open chances. Outstanding performance for Iceland, and if they win the last 2 matches, they are through to the semi-final.
Exactly. One team cannot make it any longer, and that is Switzerland after today's defeat against Croatia. They would have needed the victory to keep their hopes alive, but after the draw that they had in their first main round match and coming in without a point because they lost to Slovenia, the semi-final is not what Switzerland was aiming for in the beginning anyways, so you can just pull your hats off to Switzerland for still a good performance, but today's game against Croatia, that was tough work for both teams.
Switzerland is that they actually came out like a cannon, They were leading, what was it, 5-1 or something like that? And there was like, oh, Croatia. Here we go again. I have high expectations for you to win this game now, and now you're going to go out and against Georgia, whatever performance you're going to make. But a timeout after, they showed that, I think they went in front 9-7 after that or something like that. And they played a little bit 7 versus 6, and they lived up to the expectations I had in the end anyway. But that start had me shaking a little bit for Croatia.
That's fair. And the whole offense of Switzerland was shaken throughout the game. I feel like there was no real idea on how to break the Croatian defense, and most of the times trying to go for backward shots then, but those didn't work at all. And the only one that you would at first look at and be like, he would be the guy to go to there is Lenny Rubin again.
Yes.
He didn't have his best day today.
No, 0 from 5 and 2-minute suspension and even some technical mistakes. And now he's going to score 12 goals in the next game. But today he didn't perform. And for me, he's the player from Switzerland that can open up from wider distance than 9 meters, more than 9 meters, 10 meters. But with the players in Croatia, you got to jump very high in order for you to shoot above them. And whenever he was, leaning to one side, then Kuzmanovic was there, or he was not hitting the goal the way he wanted to. And making only 24 goals in modern handball, then it's tough to get out of the game with a win. That's sadly how it is.
But that leads us to very, very, very interesting constellations once again in Group 2, as we're looking at the standings after main round match day number 2. 4 teams at 4 points.
Yeah, that's crazy. We were the entire time speaking about the other group being the strong one, but this shows up also to be super exciting. You know, as you said, 4 teams with 4 points, everything can happen.
As we promised, everybody can beat everyone, and that was shown today because Sweden, they were unbeaten up until this point. They were the only team left, and today they got points taken away. So this Euro, nobody really is invulnerable. So yeah, we see each and every team that always struggles a little bit. There are no unbeaten teams any longer, but there is still one team with the maximum amount of points right now, and that is the German national team facing Denmark tonight. Martin, do you reckon it remains the same after tonight?
No, I don't believe so. And I even saw a quote today by Emil Nielsen saying that when Boxen is performing the way they have the 2 last games, it's one of the best home grounds or arenas in Europe.
All right, well, Boxen can prove themselves tonight then, and we will see how Germany will cope with that pressure. But yeah, interesting one, that one facing off tonight at 20:30, so follow it along on your local broadcaster, or if there are no TV rights, then you can go and join EHF TV to watch it over there. It will be an awesome one. It was an awesome one today, so catch you guys around tomorrow when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across to Dylan. Now he double in flight. Oh, what a start.
Ooh, into the net.
She does it again.